Hey, it's Chairpack, the Red Neo, and welcome to day 30 of your 7-week mind-body reset. We are in week 5. I just want you to look at this. This is me walking my dog Jasper. Say hello, Jasper. By the channel here in North Miami where I live. Such a privilege to be in this beautiful place every day. And so, anyway, today we're going to take our action step and we're going to talk about our insight of the week, which again is energy transmutation. The reason most people don't get what they want out of life has nothing to do with how they manage their time or their money. It has everything to do with how they manage their energy. And when it comes to energy, people typically think, well, I either don't have enough of it, I need more of it. They're just thinking in terms of more or less, but they're not thinking in terms of opportunity cost. Opportunity cost basically means that if you use something one way, you lose the opportunity to use it another way. And in terms of opportunity cost, what you really lose is the opportunity to transmute that energy to a higher form. In other words, if you spend 3 hours surfing on Netflix, and sometimes you need to do things like that, sometimes you just need to relax, but if you spend 3 hours surfing on Netflix and watching movies, that's 3 hours that you didn't get the opportunity to use connecting with your spouse, building your business, finding clients, learning a hobby, whatever it is, right? That is a lost opportunity. The cost is in the opportunity that's lost, right? So I want you to start thinking in terms of opportunity cost, because that is really the metric that can help you understand energy transmutation. Every time that you really feel yourself expending a lot of energy, and at the same time you feel frustrated or angry or one of these emotions that is just a warning and saying that this is a low vibration state, ask yourself, is this really the best use of this energy? Maybe you spend 30 minutes on the phone with someone complaining about a late charge or something like that on one of your bills, or just trying to do something that's maybe going to save you 10 or 15 bucks. Is that really worth 30 minutes of your time and the state that you put yourself into? High value people who create tremendous results for their life, even if they're not consciously aware of what I'm talking about, they think this way. Wise people have always known about energy transmutation and practiced it, and that's why they create extraordinary lives. They accomplish extraordinary things. They get to live in extraordinary places, right? It's because of that. People who are stuck because they have energy blocks, because their energy is stuck in these lower states like anger, frustration, unforgiveness, bitterness. And not only is it literally killing their physical bodies, and you can look at the research on that, but it's also robbing them of the opportunity to use that energy for higher value things. That said, our exercise for today, you're going to find somebody and you're going to forgive them. I don't care how bad they hurt you. I don't care how much you hate them or how mad you are at them. I don't care if the feeling of anger and betrayal and mistrust are still hanging around after you've forgiven them. What a lot of people don't understand about forgiveness is that when you don't do it, you have bitterness build up, right? And bitterness is an energy block. It kind of sits in your body and just destroys you one day at a time. Forgiveness is not something you do for the other person. It's something you do for yourself. Now, typically, and I had this conversation with somebody last week, typically people think, well, I can't forgive the person because they'll do it again, or they're a bad person, or they're really toxic. That may be true, but there is a difference between trust and forgiveness. They are categorically different things, and people get those two mixed up all the time. They think, well, I can't forgive him because I don't trust him, and I can never trust him again. Two totally different things. It's kind of like saying I can't repair my car because I've got a plumbing leak in my house, right? It makes no sense. They're categorically different. Now, hopefully what I just said just totally shifted your mindset, because forgiveness is something you do for yourself, not the other person. And you may decide that the person you're going to forgive is someone you are never going to trust again, and that is perfectly fine. Forgiveness and trust are unrelated, right? So you can forgive them and just say, you know what, I forgive him. You can even write to him and say, I forgive you. It'd be better if you did. And just say, I want you to also understand that either A, it's going to take you time to earn my trust back because trust is a different thing, or B, you will never be a part of my life again, but I'm releasing you from the anger that I have for you. Find out who that person is, write to them, forgive somebody, or get on the phone and call them, do whatever you have to do. Release that energy block. Release yourself from the prison of bitterness. The other possibility is that the person who you need to forgive is someone who you want to restore a relationship with, you want to restore trust with. And here's the analogy I use. Forgiveness is like removing the weapon that caused the wound, and trust is healing the wound. Forgiveness is removing the weapon that caused the wound, and trust is healing the wound. Now think about that. If you had a knife wound, and the knife was still in there, would you say, well, I can't remove the knife because the wound still needs to heal? Makes no sense, right? But that's what it's like when you say, well, I can't forgive them because I don't trust them. That's not the point. The point is to forgive first so that trust can be restored. So as you're speaking to this person who you're forgiving, make sure that you make it clear to yourself and the other person what the boundaries and expectations are going forward. And if the person tries to say, well, it doesn't sound like you've forgiven me, explain to them the difference. And if they don't accept your forgiveness, fine. That is their responsibility. But you go ahead and do it and release that energy block. Now, one final thing, then we're going to wrap up today. When you do this, your feelings are going to take time to catch up with you. This is very important to understand. It may take years before you feel like you've forgiven them, right? Just like the wound healing. You can make the decision to put the bandage and the medicine on it, but the wound's still going to hurt. But you're not going to say, well, it still hurts. Why does it still hurt? I put a bandage on it. Because it's still